What's going on, YouTube gamers? Bonfire here, and today I want to talk about the PlayStation VR. So over this past weekend, I finally got to put in some quality time with the PlayStation VR, and given that time, I feel like I finally have enough hands-on to share with you my first impressions. So the first thing I want to start with is the headset itself. I've got it right here, and as I mentioned in my unboxing video, first and foremost is just how light it is. This thing is very, very light, and it came as a shock to me just because looking at it, it seems like it could be kind of bulky sitting on the head and really heavy, especially in the viewer part that sits over your eyes, but it's not at all. It's very plasticky, I will say that, and some would argue that it feels very cheap, but despite that, it's a very nice design. And it's very comfortable. So there's a button right here on the back. You can stretch it to fit on your head. It's got this good, really solid padding on both this forehead and the base parts. And so the cord never really gets in your way. It sits there like base of your skull, top of your head, very comfortably. And then there's a little button right here to which you can kind of scoot the visor in to fit your eyes appropriately. So just do this, get that in there. There's a little clicky thing back here too. It's where you can kind of click it in, get it nice and tight, scoot that in, and you're good to go. How do I look, huh? Do I look cool, huh? I can't see you guys. So as I said before, the headset is really comfortable, and really my only complaint with the headset itself is that it doesn't tilt right here on this part, because I feel like once you get it in there, it's on your eyes. You can see a little bit of light that seeps through the bottom, and maybe it's just because these covers don't extend enough. Maybe I have an awkwardly shaped head, I don't know, but I feel like that it can take you out a little bit. And sometimes in the corners, like right here, it makes things just a little bit blurry. And I noticed if I push it in just a little bit, it fits my eyes a little bit better. So that's really my only complaint. I wish you could adjust it just a little bit more, just to make sure that everything is perfectly in focus when you have the PlayStation VR headset on. The other cool thing about the headset itself is that it has this handy dandy little device. And I do a nice close-up on this in my unboxing video, but you can plug your headset in there, your headphones in there, and when you're wearing the headset, and it's got 4 buttons. So it's got the power button, a microphone mute button, and then volume up and down. The really cool thing about this is that it caters to you not being able to see anything while you're wearing the headset. So you can control this as you need while you have the headset, because when you're in there, you literally can't see anything around you. So like if you have to pick up a controller, you drop it or something, kind of got to feel your way around. So the cool thing is the power is indented in there, the mic button is flush with everything, the volume buttons are raised, and the up volume button has a little nodule on it, so you can distinguish between each of the buttons and what they do. I thought that was a really nice design touch. The next thing I want to touch on is the VR itself. How does it look? People have been asking me questions about this. So first and foremost, it's really incredible. It's an incredible experience, and if you've never done VR before, you're in for a treat when you finally get the opportunity to do so, because it's very cool. And I tend to get into the games that I play, whether it's VR or not. And there are certain moments in certain games where I'm jumping, or I'm reacting to whatever's happening to me, almost in the fact that it's real, even though I know it's not. And it does it actually tricks your brain sometimes in certain situations. And it's just such an incredible experience. With all that said, let's talk about the graphics. The graphics actually inside the headset. And I will say this, that they're not the best graphics out there. Obviously, they're not going to beat the Oculus, and they're not going to beat the Vive in terms of graphic fidelity, because I mean, those things are hooked up to freaking, a couple $1,000s worth of hardware. And I've noticed that the graphics themselves, when you're in there, they aren't. I'm not going to use the word pixelated, because they're not pixely. It's like they're a little grainy. But even though they're a little grainy, that's not going to take you away from the immersion, and it doesn't really make things look bad. They don't look bad. There's still some really sweet graphics, and I really feel the depth and immersion of virtual reality while wearing this thing. But you do notice a little downgrade in terms of graphics due to the hardware. Frame rate. That's another big question a lot of people have about the PlayStation VR, and I don't know what frame rate this bad boy is running, but I haven't really noticed any dips, any drops. It feels very smooth, so I think it works pretty well from that perspective. Now, I will say this, that it can cause you some motion sickness, and I've seen online and heard people talk about that the PlayStation VR headset sucks because it causes people motion sickness, and that the Oculus and the Vive don't, even though I'm pretty sure it does. But the thing is you can get motion sickness while playing this, and if you're prone to it, like myself, you may have a tough time with certain games. Now, I'm prone to motion sickness, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Sometimes in car rides I'll get a little queasy. Sometimes, definitely on an airplane, it'll hit me every now and then, especially if I'm going through like some turbulence or something. And boats, ocean boats, I don't do the ocean on a boat. No thank you, cannot do that. I will puke my lungs up. Not a good time at all. And so while I was playing this, there were a couple instances where when I got done with the game or the experience or whatever I was playing, that I kind of had to just be like, all right, I need to take a break because I got a little queasy. And there was one game I played last night called Riggs Mechanized Combat. It was just a demo I was playing, and it's pretty neat overall. But as I was kind of playing it, because it's supposed to be pretty fast movement and everything, I was just kind of like, okay, I can't do this. However, I noticed when I played the London Heist for a second time, I played the car chase sequence where you're being chased by motorcycles and you're shooting stuff. It's a pretty sweet sequence. And the first time I played it, I got a little queasy, nauseous, and I was like, all right, I need to take a break. The second time, I didn't really feel it as much. So I think it may just take some time for people like myself who are prone to motion sickness, that you just kind of got to give it some time to kind of adjust to it and get used to it. So the last thing I want to touch on are the games. And I will say that the games, from what they've come out with, I think PlayStation has a pretty good variety. They've definitely put a lot of effort into bringing a variety of different games to the PlayStation VR platform. So there's lots of different things to play. And so what I have is I got the PlayStation VR Worlds, which basically offers 5 different experiences. So they have the London Heist, which is really awesome. You basically do a robbery. Scavenger's Odyssey, I haven't played that one yet, but I watched my brother-in-law play it, and it looks pretty cool. It's like some space thing. Ocean Descent, I've done one of those with the shark attacks you. It was pretty intense. VR Luge, haven't done that, but again, my brother-in-law did it, and it looks pretty cool. You're just, luging down this huge mountain. And then Danger Ball, which is actually one of my favorite games so far for PSVR. It's basically Tron, and I'm gonna do a video on that, so stay tuned for that. But there's PSVR Worlds. And then I have this, it came with this demo disc, which offers tons of different demos, like Drive Club, Riggs Mechanized Combat, Battlezone, Tumble VR, Until Dawn, Eve Valkyrie, all kinds of demos on this bad boy, which is really exciting. So I've only tried to get Riggs, so I definitely want to do more, but a lot of stuff on this. And then lastly, I have Batman VR, which, as you can see, I haven't opened it yet, but I've heard this is one of the best, if not the best, VR games, and I can't wait to play it. So from what I've played and from the library of games that are currently available for the PlayStation VR, you got to keep this in mind, is that they're all mostly experiences. They're experiences to really show off the tech and introduce us to the virtual reality world. And that's okay for now. That's totally okay. I think that's totally expected. Anytime you have some new technology like that, same with the Wii, same with the PlayStation Move, they did the same thing. In the Kinect, they did that. You have these experiences that are going to show off the tech, and that's exactly what's going on with the PlayStation VR. However, I think what's different between the Wii and the Kinect and the Move from the PlayStation VR is that this offers more to do, more options for developers, and this is a whole new world for video games. Motion was a new thing, but it was very niche. You could only do so much with it. As with virtual reality, I feel like there's a lot more potential for this. So overall, PlayStation VR, I think it's awesome. It's definitely not going to be for everyone, and if you're on a budget between, and you're thinking about getting PlayStation VR or, you know, maybe a couple other different fall games that are coming out, because the fall is always such a heavy lineup of games, I would definitely pick the other games. Just go with those. Wait for VR. But if you are really interested in VR and want to dive into that experience, and you have some extra cash laying around to invest into it, I think it's going to be a great investment. I think it's really cool. It offers some really amazing experiences and this brand new way to experience video games, which is super exciting. I think the headset is very well designed. I do wish it had a little bit more customizability in terms of, you know, fitting onto your head. And again, maybe I just have a weird shaped head. I don't know. But I think they did a nice job. Again, it's not the best graphics, but it's still, it doesn't impede the immersion, and it doesn't take really away from anything, in my opinion, from what I've played thus far. So I think it's really exciting, and I can't wait to play more and bring more to the channel. So there you guys have it. Those are my first impressions of the PlayStation VR. Let me know what you guys think about it, and if you picked it up down in the comments below. I'd also love to know, what games do you want me to see and play on the YouTube channel from the PlayStation VR? Drop it down there. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and well, until next time, I'm Bonfire, and I will see you online.
Yeah, now come on, it's 80 you now. If you whip it, put your hands up. On the fly, lady, set a front, go